afternoon to everyone this night. And I am Yolanda. This is my wonderful, wonderful husband, James Penn. And we're excited tonight. And I'm super excited because we have to start the show off, right? We have to start the show off by wishing my baby a wonderful 34th birthday.
Yeah, you put the number out there like that, right? Okay. Yeah.
If you follow me on Facebook, he's always been teasing, I'm not in my mid-30s. I'm not in my mid-30s. Well, today you are in your mid-30s. Still young, right?
I was in my early 30s up until a couple hours ago.
A couple of hours ago.
Mid-30s, sir. Yeah.
So
that would make you...
We're not talking about me.
Okay.
So... Everyone wish James a happy birthday. Show him some happy birthday love.
Yeah, appreciate
Click
you all.
like, hearts.
What's up, Sabrina?
Happy, all
Thank
that
you.
good stuff.
Thank you.
And guys, tonight's topic is a fantastic topic. Go ahead, get your buttons and your fingers ready to share, invite, comment, all of that good stuff. Because we're talking about 3 areas of selfishness hurting your marriage. Okay? So 3 areas of selfishness that are hurting your marriage. And again, go ahead and invite out. We want to get your comments as we are talking about this wonderful topic. Go ahead and reply. Invite your friends. You can singly invite people that you think need to hear it. You can share it on your page, whatever you would like to do. And you know how to do that. You click that little share button. It comes up. You can copy the link.
What sound does it make? Okay.
You can copy the link, or you can go ahead and just share it out. So, today, James is going to be bringing an awesome book of the week. So, everyone, get your ears open to hear about this. It's phenomenal.
All right. So, every week we like to bring you a book of the week. It's the key here with Marriage by Design that we really see you winning your marriage. Been one of the key areas of that, is being personal development, meaning working on you personally. And so once again, we like to bring you a book of the week every week. And this week, I picked John C. Maxwell's book, Attitude 101. Like so often, what's up, Nikki Maddox? Appreciate you tuning in. Like so often, the book of the week this week is not a marriage book. There's so many areas where if you just work on yourself and become a better person, it'll help you have a better marriage. And that's no different than this week, this book we have here, Attitude 101. We all know that everybody has an attitude. It's funny how people say, you got an attitude. Well, everybody has attitude, but you want to make sure you have a good attitude. And that's what this book is going to cover, because there's so many relationships where people think they have marital problems, and it's not really marital problems. It's just that individual, they got their own issues. They got individual issues, and one of them issues might be you have a jacked up attitude. So, Attitude 101 by John C. Maxwell is broken down into 3 different parts. The impact of attitude it talks about the formation of attitude, and then it talks about the future with right attitude. Mm-hmm. And I just want to bring out a couple points on this. In chapter 2 is how does attitude impact an individual? And right here in the first paragraph, it says attitude is an inward feeling expressed by behavior. Listen to this. Attitude is an inward feeling expressed by behavior. That is why an attitude can be seen without a word being said. Haven't we all noticed the pout or the sulker or the jutted jaw of the determined? Of all the things we wear, our expression is the most important. So, I again, that first sentence, attitude is an inward feeling expressed by behavior. So that we're talking about action here, and so often you see people that have a bad attitude. How does it affect your marriage? Because that leads to action, it leads to negative action. And so we talked about that. One other area here in the book I want to point out. Welcome on, Kim. What's up, Kim Larkin? Hey, this is in chapter 4. Can attitude be changed? Because so often people think, well, that's just the way I am. I'm just gonna be me. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real.
That's what
we know.
Dave
Chappelle said, "Well, keeping it real goes wrong." Right. Well, listen. We are either the masters or the victims of our attitudes. It is a matter of personal choice. Who we are today is the result of our choices made yesterday. Tomorrow we will become what we choose today. To change means to choose to change. Right. So, who you are, is based off of who you are today. Is based off of who you were and the actions you took prior. And so, if you want to change, all you gotta do is change now, and it changes your future. And it is a choice. It is a choice. I was just talking with someone recently having some challenges in their marriage, and he had to realize that the reason he was in that situation was because of his attitude. And he had culminated over years creating challenges in his family, not only as a husband, also as a father. And that wasn't going to change overnight, but he's on this journey now of changing. And his wife is, convinced, you can't change yourself. You can't change. She's telling him, you can't change. You blow up, you have this bad attitude, you can't change. But he's working on it, and it's a process. Now watch this. He has. I've seen some changes in talking with him, but all I just encourage him to do is just prove her wrong. Prove her wrong. Typically, you wouldn't want to hear those words in a marriage, like prove the other person wrong. But you know what? Prove the person wrong. If you got an attitude problem and your spouse thinks you got an attitude problem, prove them wrong, because you can change. It's a choice. And so that is our book of the week, Attitude 101, John C. Maxwell. Pick it up. So let's go ahead and get into our topic here. 3 areas of selfishness hurting your marriage. This is a little bit, when it comes to attitude, right? You can have a selfish attitude. And there are a lot of ways that selfishness can manifest itself. And guys, we want to hear from you. So if there's some areas of selfishness that you think we need to touch on, go ahead and put that in the comments. Again, make sure you share this out. Put on your turn on notifications, by the way, once you come on. That way, anytime we go live, you can get that. But we got a couple areas that we want to talk to you about. The first area is priorities. People are selfish in their priorities. Thank you, Deidre. Appreciate the birthday love.
You still got a couple of hours, Deidre, to get the song.
She called, actually.
Did she?
Yeah, so Deidre's tuning in. We got this running thing. Every year she's got call and sing on my birthday. I call and sing her on her birthday, and she definitely called while you were out of the room. But look, 3 areas of selfishness hurting your marriage. Number 1 is priorities. People are selfish with their priorities. Talk to us about that.
Definitely. Think about all the priorities that you have in your life. One that is very big or takes up a lot of time are people going out there and pursuing their careers.
Right.
Whether you're an entrepreneur or you work or you have a job or whatever the case is, that is a big chunk of your time. And you find a lot of people putting their spouse on the back burner and being selfish, bringing that work home. We all understand that you have to work, but you have to make time for your spouse.
It's simply a matter of priority.
Right.
When you see people who, and again, you never really know behind closed doors what somebody's relationship is like. But clearly there are people who have very, very high-powered careers that have healthy marriages. There are entrepreneurs out there that are building huge empires and they have healthy marriages. We just have to sit back and remove excuses. I was just talking with somebody about getting in shape and working out, and they said, well, why aren't you working out the way you need to be? And before I told them why, I said, let me just go ahead and take it away from you. Everything I'm about to say is an excuse.
Right.
Everything I'm about to say is an excuse. Why do I say that? Do I have a busy schedule? Yes. Is it demanding? Do I have a wife and children and trying to build a business? Of course, I have all these things. But aren't there also people who have the same thing that I have, and they're still taking care of themselves and their body? So, same thing when it comes to, I got a very busy work schedule, and maybe you're an entrepreneur and somebody else is working outside of home. How do you make it work? It's just about making it a priority.
I agree 100% on that.
And before we even move forward, I want to hit career from one other standpoint, because I know we have singles that watch our show sometimes, right? Welcome on, Raymond. Sabrina said, yep, your mate feels it's competition. Yeah, your mate, and they shouldn't feel that way. They shouldn't feel, and it's not about quantity, right? We're going to talk a little bit about that as the show progresses. It's not about the quantity of time, because if you're building a career, most people are going to spend more time at work.
Right.
So you got to make it where the quality of time that you're spending is valuable. But we have some singles that watch our show, and there might be some here on live or even watching the replay. One of the areas when it comes to prioritizing career, and I see this, with a lot of men, more women, it's starting to be more women where they're delaying marriage.
Yes.
They're delaying marriage because of, I'm focused on my career right now. I'm focused on my career. And I want to challenge the singles out there who desire to be married one day. If you like, I'm living a life of celibacy, I'm living a life, that's committed to purpose and passion, I don't want to get married, I'm not talking to you. But for those who do want to be married, and they're, they're getting in their late 20s and then 30 and 35 and then 40 and I'm delaying that because I'm focused on my career. what you're really saying is your career is a priority over your future spouse. Now, that might not feel as challenging, and like that's a big deal now. I might not feel like I'm doing something so wrong now because you haven't met them, maybe. But imagine meeting that person,
right?
And saying to them, "I'm sure glad you came along now because you're not as valuable as this career that I've been working on." That's essentially what you're saying. Essentially, what you're saying is the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, they're not as important as your career. And it's also going down this misnomer that you can't have and pursue, big dreams and goals without, being married.
Right. I agree 100%. And then you said career, but even before you start that career, a lot of times people fall in love in college and different things like that, and they still delay, still put on the back burner. Like, why? You can't do it together? No, you can put all of that together and you can pursue your goals, your dreams, your passions. And it's even better when you're doing it beside someone and with someone that you care about.
Absolutely.
So, moving on to under priorities, there's another key one that we want to hit. And this is, we would say, friends and hobbies. Friends and hobbies, how you're putting those things, the people and the different things that you do, whether it be golf, basketball, knitting, sewing, whatever.
Who knits and sews? If you're watching, you knit and sew.
I know people that knit.
No, you don't.
I do.
Name one.
Okay.
The
ladies that keep asking about my beanie when I go to Walmart.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I'm sorry. I jacked your flow up. Go ahead.
Okay. So, if these things are priorities ahead of your spouse, what are you telling your spouse? Are they laughing at me? So what are you telling your spouse? Like, your best friend, and we talked about this last week on the show, should be your spouse. That is who it should be. Your best friend, hands down, period. And so if you have other friends that you rather spend time with, that you put more priority on over your spouse, then there is a problem there. That is being very selfish because you're not sharing with your spouse that part of you.
And we want to bring it back to the selfishness part.
Right.
Where when, you have the husband that says, well, I know I've been working, right? Let's mix some of them together. So career, I know I've been working all throughout the week, and I know I've been traveling, I've been doing different things, and now that I got some time, I just want to go, blow off some steam and play golf. The key there is I want to. This is where the selfishness comes in. It's all about, sacrifice it. Think when you were trying to win that person over.
Right.
When you're trying to win them, everything was about being lit up by making another person happy, giving them your time.
Good.
Any moment you weren't away, around them, you couldn't think about till the next time you get around them. And so you have to continue to cultivate that in your marriage. Raymond wants to learn how to knit. Sabrina daughter's knits.
I have a video.
Yeah. So, 3 areas of selfishness hurting your marriage. Number 1 is priorities. When you're selfish with your priorities. Number 2 is trust. Now, selfishness is all about, holding back of something, right? So if you're stingy with the trust that you're offering to your partner, you're selfish with your trust, that can lead to issues. Definitely.
And a big issue that we see in different marriages is trusting someone with your money. Finances, money. James and I are strong believers of when you're married, you have one account. That's a joint account, right? And all your finances go into that joint account, that big pot of money, and you do whatever you need to do with that money. And a lot of times men and women, and I think the older that you get married, the more you see this, they say, you know what, this is my money. I work. This is my money. This is your money. This is, you work. We'll bring some of our money together to pay bills, but wait, don't touch my money. And so I think that is a trust issue when the money is not being managed by your husband.
Now, Nikki, real quick, I think she was talking about our last one. Cloud 9 doesn't have to end. That's so true, Nikki. Cloud 9 definitely doesn't have to end. But jumping back to trust and finances. Now, when we say put the money together one joint account, doesn't mean you can't have separate accounts too.
Right.
We want to be responsible, right? You can have we have accounts, right? But it's the mindset more behind it of mine and yours.
Right.
It's the mindset of my how people practically do things, with their accounts. That's totally, we're not trying to run everybody's finances. It does get into roles in terms of like
right.
who should manage finances. That's a whole nother topic, whole nother show, all of itself. But how can you be the leader? How can a woman handle the finances, lead in that area when she doesn't have the power to make the change? That's unfair to her, right? So we talk about some of those different things. Again, whole nother topic. Don't miss what we're saying here today. Today, what we're talking about is the selfishness in mind. Mm-hmm. Right? The idea of this is my money. Because the truth of the matter is, in our marriage, like, my wife doesn't have any money. And I don't have any money. Right? I like to always say that first, because I know somebody in there will be the upper. Oh, what you mean? Right? But I don't have any money. She doesn't have any money. We have money. It's selfishness when you're looking at finances as mine and yours, and then that's that's a trust thing. So another area where people are selfish in their trust is in their behaviors. Yes. Right? You see it a lot of times with men being controlling. They're more concerned about their sense of security about their wife, right? They're thinking about themselves more. This is where the selfishness come in. Then let somebody be free to just live a normal life. I've heard examples of women who had a man that was so selfish with his need for control and manifested in behavior where she couldn't even go to the grocery store by herself.
Wow, wow.
Right? She couldn't even go to the grocery store. Hey, I'm going to go shopping. I'm going, go to the grocery. Okay, hold on, we're coming.
Everybody loading up.
The whole family, the kids,
Get a car.
and singles. Let me talk to singles again real quick. So often people will you gotta listen to what people say. People will tell you different things during the dating process, right? Which is all about getting data, right? You date to get data about the person. And they'll tell you who they are, and you ignore the signs.
Right.
Be careful, single ladies, of checkers. Yeah. Guys who are calling just to check where you are. They call it, hey, how you doing? What, you need something? No, I was just checking to see where you at. Like, just checking, right? That's like a controlling type of thing. And people have been selfish. People, that selfishness in, again, your need for control is superseding, that person's freedom.
I agree 100%. Clean, controlling, no freedom.
Talk about the clinging, right? Because that's a little different than controlling.
It is. With clinging, and I've seen this from women more so than men, I think, is where you get the clinginess. And it's typically because you've been cheated on in the past. It's something that happened in your past that you keep taking on into the next relationship and never getting over. And it's causing you to cling on to your spouse. Like, where you going? How was your day? Like, everything is all wrapped around, did you do something unfaithful to me? That's kind of how I see all of it. I want to make sure, and even if you didn't cheat or you didn't do anything unfaithful, I want to make sure it's not going to lead down that path. So I just got to question everything you did, how you did it, where you went, who you were with, all of these different things. And again, all leading back to the selfishness of not being able to trust that person.
Right, your need for security, your need, to have your self-image feel okay is superseding somebody, again, having freedom and being able to live a normal life. Right. We got a couple comments here. Shayal, shalom, welcome on, Shayal Benoit. Raymond said control sound very insecure as well. Yeah, it is about insecurity. And Nikki, she's talking about the finances here. If you are with someone long enough, money will come and go.
That's right.
It is best to have an us mentality. That's what it is, Nikki, right? It's best to have an us mentality. This will help prevent anyone from feeling less than. It's absolutely, there's no more me is we. It's no more me is we. So trust is another area. And then finally, 3 areas of selfishness hurting your marriage. Number 1 is priorities. Number 2 is trust. Number 3 is giving. And this is the kind of natural one. This is probably the one you thought we would lead with. What's the opposite of selfish? Someone who's giving, right? But giving where? What areas of giving is hurting people's marriage when it comes to selfishness?
Time, a big one. Giving of your time, giving of yourself. And you were telling me about a study or some research. No, it was a guy.
It was an article on Huffington Post. Yeah.
Huffington Post. The article on Huffington Post, which I haven't read, but I was shocked that just with the time this woman was putting in to finding creative ways to turn her spouse down for sex. It could have been television, TV, I need a shower, I need all of these different things. And he did a study over 6 weeks, between him and her, where he was documenting everything. And every time it was like, no, 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 no. And out of 6 weeks, he got 3 yeses. Everything else was a no with the reason attached to it. She was like, oh, I need to take a shower. She didn't need to take a shower that night because she was like coming from the gym or whatever it was. But she was being so stingy as far as a time thing. I think that played into it.
And I think that's with self as well, right?
Yeah.
So people are not giving, they're being selfish with their time and they're being selfish with their self. When we talk about sex, giving of yourself, when it comes to sex, there's no more selfless act than you do that in marriage between a husband and wife, giving their physical selves over to their partner. And over 6 weeks, being turned down, even getting to the point where you decide to track how many times you get turned down.
Gracious, that's a lot.
Right? With all of the excuses, and I don't even know if she was being creative. I think it was just her selfishness. It got to a point of second nature where, you know what, I'm tired. You know what, I feel yucky. I feel, and it's all about me. I'm tired. I'm this. I don't want to. I'm not in the mood. And that doesn't mean like you're a slave to your partner anytime that they want to do something. But over the course of 6+ weeks, I believe it was 7 weeks, 3 times.
And he asked several times.
He asked several times and always got an excuse. That's selfishness. That's selfishness. And it can lead to infidelity, of course, and even taking it a little bit further, right? Going deeper, talking about sex. Hot pun intended. This is an adult show, right? Adult content. People pleasing their mates sexually. A lot of I saw somebody write a post about, could you be married to somebody who didn't please you sexually? We'll just poll the people who are on real quick. You just yes or no. Could you be married to somebody who didn't please you sexually? All right. Write that in the comments. I want to see what everybody says here. Sabrina had a comment already, and she would have been in her feelings if he went elsewhere. Exactly. Yeah. Sabrina said she could, but it would be hard. Jabbar said no. I think he's thinking because it would be hard. Again, pun intended. Absolutely. Shalini said absolutely not. Okay. And I saw a post earlier and everybody was like, no way. I couldn't do it. When in reality, no, you don't want to be in a relationship. You don't want to be in a marriage where you're not being, pleased sexually. Sex is a huge part of marriage.
It is.
But when somebody's not being pleased sexually, is that really a sexual issue in the marriage?
I don't believe it is, unless it's a medical issue. That's the only way I see it as being a sexual issue. Typically, it's like you said, a selfishness issue, because you are taking care of whatever it is with yourself, or typically it's yourself. It could be you don't want to do it, you're getting it done too quickly, or whatever the case may be. But typically, it's a selfishness part that can be eased by some communication.
Right.
If you're communicating with your spouse, your partner, whether you be on the end of, I'm the one that's feeling like I don't want to do it for whatever the reason is. So it's that communication between the two, I would think.
And when we talk about not pleasing your spouse sexually, again, the reason we say it's not usually a sex issue, because you may not be gifted, let's say, in the area. I don't know how to describe it, right? But I don't believe that that you're incapable of pleasing your spouse. Somebody might have to work harder at it. You might have to, do some different things. But it's selfishness if your partner's not pleased, and you're like, I got mine, I'm good. Like, if you're not making the adjustment, they got exercises you can do, Kegels, that, it could be other things that you could do before actual, intimacy.
Right.
If you're not willing to do it, that's not a sexual issue. That's not a sexual issue.
Right.
That's a selfishness issue. And way more often than not, when people think they're having issues with sex, it's not really an issue with sex. It's an issue with selfishness.
Right.
Definitely people were saying no, they couldn't do
Nikki
it. They said
said,
right. Deidre's like nada. No, it's a connection issue. That's right. It's bigger than that. And Sabrina said he might like some 50 Shades of Grey stuff. I don't know. I still haven't seen the 50 Shades of Grey and any of that stuff. So those are some areas of selfishness that are hurting people's marriage. Appreciate all of the feedback and the comments and everybody chiming in and sharing. Let's see. Charlena's got another comment. Pleasing sexually isn't limited to the physical, which is why it would be extremely selfish if they aren't willing to please their partner. That's it. That's it. It's certainly, particularly for women, like emotionally throughout the day. I'm gonna leave it there. We keep it moving all throughout the day around here. So,
don't mess my mind up for my message.
But yeah, get yourself prepared for your message of the week. We appreciate all you guys chiming in. Thank you for all the birthday love and shouts out. Every single week we come here and we wrap our show up with a marriage message for the week. And this week is no different. So last week I got a chance to share a few words with you. So this week we're going to turn it over to my love for the marriage message of the week.
Guys, I'm so excited to share this message because I don't think a lot of people know about this, or enough people know about this. Your marriage is not about happiness. Let me say that again. Marriage is not about happiness. Marriage is about love. And when you look at the definition of love, you have to take into consideration that love is the commitment to something that is bigger than yourself. Love is a commitment that you made with your spouse. It's a commitment to whatever your mission is. It's a commitment to raising a family. It's a commitment to being an entrepreneur. It's a commitment to being together. At the very least, you made a commitment to each other. So hear me and understand that love is what makes it your marriage. And guess what, guys? You can be happy in your marriage. It can lead to happiness, right? But don't think that marriage is just about happiness, because one day something tragic could happen to you. Something tragic could happen to your spouse. And if it's all about that feeling of happiness, then I might not be happy if something happens to James and now I have to take care of him and wheel him around in a wheelchair. I might not be happy. He might not be happy if something happens to me and now I don't look the same way that I used to look and it's not pleasing to his eye. That is not what marriage is about. Marriage is truly about that commitment. And so we have to make sure that we see that, we understand that, and we're not being selfish about that. And if we are being selfish about that, correct those problems. Have that communication between you and your spouse, and you're able to move on with your marriage and make it better day by day, every day. If you decide that, you know what, I am going to stand here on the ground of the commitment we made and not because I'm not happy anymore. So with that being said, we are going to wrap up this show.
Great message.
Let James get back to his birthday festivities. I'm going to cook him some kind of good dinner, something in there, right? And we're going to enjoy the rest of our night. So from us.
Yeah. We appreciate each and every one you're tuning in between now and the next time at our past calls. And go out there, design the type of marriage you deserve for you and your family, and we'll see you on the journey.